Welcome, everybody, to Community Comment. Our guest today is Columbus School Superintendent Jake Flood. We'll be talking with him about a lot of things happening in the Columbus School District. Good morning, Jake.
Hey, a pleasure to be back, Terry. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure to have you on, as always. And we invite you to join the conversation, too. If you have a question or a comment for Jake, especially if you live in the Columbus District, feel free to call us or text us at 920-887-9595. Or you can call the WBEV studio line at 885-4446. A lot to get to. Let's get right to the senior scholarship. That's a great opportunity to support your students.
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting things going on. Seems to be that time of the year. I'm actually just running from our retirement celebration.
Oh.
We have two retirees, both over 25 years in the district.
Oh, gosh.
Staff Appreciation Week, which is part of Teacher Appreciation Week. We do our entire staff. Shout out to our staff, who we love. They're doing a great job. But yeah, at this time of the year, senior scholarships start coming around. Another reason for us to be so grateful of our great partners in our community. I think I added it up. Somewhere between $110,000 and $150,000 being given out again this year to under 100 students, a district our size. So we're thrilled about that. The other thing, Terry, when I always think about the senior scholarships and listen to those presentations, it's not just students going to four-year schools. These scholarships are presented to a wide range of post-school plans, military, the trades, students that might not even know exactly what they're going to do. So great opportunity. We're excited to announce them next week, Wednesday.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. And I think you're absolutely right, too. I have a little bit of a toe myself in higher education. I have an adjunct professorship at a technical college. And to me, it's all about, when you're having these conversations with people when they're in high school and even middle school, the real point is, what is a happy life for you? What is work that you enjoy that will pay you enough to have a comfortable life so that you won't have to worry as little as possible? And a four-year degree may get you there, but, so could an associate's degree, or so could an apprenticeship, or so could the military.
Yeah, whether you're the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, I once heard this, you have to love what you do.
Yes.
And I think that we're trying to give different opportunities, both in middle school, but more in high school, for our students to explore different pathways. And even if they don't go down that pathway, it's fine. They found out what they might not want to do as well. But when it comes around to it, after high school ends for our seniors here, hopefully we provide the foundation, and then obviously some financial support through our great partners and community members and service organizations for them to have a little money and resources to start.
Mm-hmm. And the scholarship is made possible by the district's endowment.
Two different things, but
Okay.
yeah, well, they're partially correct. Yeah, it's
leg
important.
in that stool.
Yeah. Let me kind of separate those a little. So
Thanks.
I think there's about 83 different partners that have different scholarships. As far as the Columbus School District Endowment, who supports both our students and staff, they provide a pretty cool, unique opportunity for our staff.
Yeah, I got my wires crossed there. But go on, I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah, we're kind of in a grant cycle right now. All of our staff have an opportunity to apply for the Columbus School District Endowment Grant.
Okay.
Whether you are a teacher, or a support staff member, there's a grant that you can apply for. Alice Schmidt left a good amount of money when she passed away in 2019 to support one grant, and the endowment supports another grant. And each year, that committee gives over $10,000 for professional development, things that we wouldn't necessarily be able to support as a school directly. But it definitely goes back into our teaching and into the students and supporting the people that work with our students directly. The other thing that we do with the endowment, a very cool event coming up, Sharon Bradish is going to be recognized or honored as the Cardinal Apple Lifetime Service winner. Each year, that committee selects an individual, and she was a teacher for 39 years, or connected to the district for 39 years. Most well known for being a Spanish teacher, beloved. So the 28th, especially if you had her as a student, consider coming to Kestrel Ridge and joining us for her celebration connected to that committee.
Well, that's fantastic. You mentioned all these people have been serving, retiring after serving 30 plus years. It just makes me think of one of the challenges happening right now is a lot of people who start out as teachers give up on the profession a lot sooner than that these days, and that's got to be a constant challenge for every school.
Yeah, that's kind of the world that we're in right now, attracting and retaining. It's interesting. Each year we send out a publication to all of our community members, and many years in that publication, it comes in the fall each year. We put the different staff members that have over 15 years of experience, over 20 years of experience. I'm proud in Columbus that we have quite a few, but what I am seeing is less and less will you have someone start their career and then finish in the same place for a variety of reasons. And the other thing is, how can we as a school district support our new staff members as well? Interesting enough, you say that. We started out our retiree celebration today by celebrating the first year teachers.
That's great.
That finished their first year, because that's
It's an important
accomplishment,
year.
right?
Oh boy, yeah.
So you hit it on the head, though. We have to be able to attract and keep people in the profession, and that comes down to our controllable is creating an atmosphere where they want to be, but providing that mentorship and support.
Right, and certainly those continuing those professional development opportunities, big part of that, I can imagine.
Absolutely.
We need to take a quick break here, but we'll be right back. You're listening to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Daily Dodge. In those Daily Dodge TV studios, here's Terry Bell.
Thank you, Jake, and welcome back, everybody, to Community Comment. Our guest today is Jake Flood. He's the superintendent of the Columbus School District. We're talking about all kinds of topics that affect Columbus in particular and education in general. If you have a question or a comment for Jake, we invite you to join in the program. You can call or text 920-887-9595, or you can call the WBEV studio line at 885-4446. And one thing that's happening in Columbus, as I imagine is happening at schools all over, is, navigating the brave new world of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, AI, it's here. We think it's coming, but it's here. And it's interesting, we've talked now for the last couple of years, what does it mean? And I think it means different things for different levels in the organization. Obviously, you always start with the students, and then you think about it from the staffing side of it, and then you even think about it from an operational perspective. So if we start with the student side of it, I go back, Dr. Frontier, he was at Cardinal Stritch at one point. I look at him as an excellent researcher. Just recently, I heard him talk about this topic at a conference, and it really resonated with me. When it comes down to AI, it has to come down to student agency. And student agency simply being, are the students owning their own learning, or are they using it to cheat? And really, for us as administration and for us as staff, we have to define what the difference between the two are.
So for anybody, and myself included, listening who may have a hard time grasping that concept, what is the difference between, an AI taking, or a student taking agency for the use of AI and cheating?
Right. No, the way that we look at it, especially when we start talking about the high school level, how can we use it as, how can we encourage our students to use it as a positive? For example, can they use it as a personal coach? They have something at their fingertips that can coach them through, whether it be a difficult, complex question or a topic that they've never explored before. Career readiness, we look at it. It's going to be in most fields. So how can we teach them the ethical way to use that and the right way to use it and how not to use it? Also, we think about study guides, even AP exams, not taking or giving them the answers, but instead helping coach them or answer questions to how it's solved. It's a gray area, so the more that we can help define that, the better it is, both for our students and our staff. And in the end, we also totally have to remind our students, AI is not always 100% correct.
Yeah, that is important, but also I'm thinking, like it or not, and there are a lot of reasons to like it, and there are a lot of reasons not to like it. As you mentioned, AI is here. Mm-hmm. Not only is it here, and not only do people find it a useful tool in their professions, some places actually have very high expectations for its use. And so if you're going to get a job, you're going to be expected to use AI. And I would imagine the role of the school is to, as you mentioned, teach young people how to use it ethically and responsibly.
Exactly. And part of what I think about on this topic, Terry, so obviously AI is here. Social media came. And what, we're probably 20 years into social media. And I think at that time, the philosophy or approach, and this was something that Dr. Frontier talked about as well, so I want to give credit where it's due, but I truly believe in it. For 20 years, we kind of said, well, we'll just figure it out. And that didn't work the best, because now we're trying to recover from that. So I think ultimately we have to be a little bit more proactive on the AI side compared to looking in 2045 going, shoot, we wish we would have did this a little bit differently.
Okay. You mentioned that AI can also be, how can it help teachers do their jobs?
From an efficiency standpoint, we will never want AI to replace the teacher, because the teacher, there's an art to teaching. But really, when it comes down to it, there's three really big areas that can help in differentiation. We're always trying to meet all of our learners at the place that they're at, so they continue to grow. Everybody has a great opportunity. And AI is very powerful in providing differentiation options. Data-driven support. Now, we have to make sure that we're protecting students' privacy and things like that, but we can run some analysis and see, are our instructional practices working, or where are we seeing perhaps some holes? And then last but not least, planning help. With the design and planning of lessons, and even the scope and sequence for an entire year, it becomes very valuable as well for our staff.
Probably the most important ingredient in the whole soup of learning is relationships between the teacher and the student, relationships between students themselves. How can AI help that and not get in the way of it?
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Terry, because when it comes down to it, and that's the philosophy our district has taken on, that it has to relate back to relationships. And a lot of it comes down to time as a resource. Have we opened up more time by being more efficient for relationships to occur? So perhaps if a teacher is spending a little less time on creating a different worksheet or a different assignment for differentiation, that time is probably being used to connect with a student or meet with a student in a different way.
Yeah, and so ideally it's opening up more time for that interpersonal relationship building.
Right. And I can guarantee you our wonderful staff, they are not pocketing that time. They are using that time in a way that's effective. And as I kind of started with, it's not the end all. It's not the end all, but we have to educate on it. And I think we're at the point that it would only be commonsensical to use it from a staffing standpoint and operations standpoint as well.
Very good. We're talking with Columbus School Superintendent Jake Flood on this edition of Community Comment. We need to take a quick break here, but we'll be right back. You're listening to 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
WBEV is
on to the Daily Dodge TV studios with Terry Bell for more of today's community comment.
Thank you, Jake, and welcome back, everybody, to Community Comment. Our guest today is Columbus School Superintendent Jake Flood. We're talking about education specific to Columbus and, issues facing all schools. If you have a question or comment, especially if you live in Columbus, we invite you to join the program by calling or texting 920-887-9595 or by calling the WBEV studio line at 885-4446. Back in 2020, the district had a referendum. It passed. You made good use of a lot of that money, and you were able to put some more away for a rainy day.
Right. So rewind back to 2020, and I'll try to be succinct and clear on this. The voters of our community passed a capital referendum to really upgrade the three different existing buildings in the Columbus School District. Columbus Elementary got a major facelift, pretty substantial updates to Columbus High School, and then minor upgrades to what is Columbus Middle School at that time. Also, as part of that referendum, in the planning meetings, $1 million was set aside for what was known to be a future land purchase if it would be possible. So there's certain regulatory marks that have to be hit, especially with a bond that was taken out in 2021 related to that, and 5 years is starting to come up. We've worked with many landowners over the past 5 years, previous administration and myself. And one thing I will say for sure, we weren't just going to buy land to buy land. We weren't going to buy bad land. That land had to work for what was needed by the school district. And we probably, during my time, reviewed, I would say, 20 sites at a high level, and then 3 to 4 sites at a pretty in-depth level. About a month or two ago, I report to the board that a purchase wasn't imminent, that we probably have to consider different uses of this remaining $1 million. All of the work in the other buildings and the funds have been pretty much spent 2 years ago. That work has been completed. So we've had pretty substantial conversations over the previous 3 board meetings about what are the options. And really, we were presented 3 different options. Number one, and we used our attorneys, obviously, and PMA is a government financial solution expert to figure out what these options. But the first option that we had to consider was buy land. Well, not imminent, as I said. The second option was that the money could be dedicated to other projects within the scope and intent of the original question, which was mostly, go ahead.
Maybe fixing up a current building that could use it.
Infrastructure and, capital projects, just as the rest of the money. And the third, and the board was very interested in hearing how could the taxpayers perhaps get that remaining funds back? Because, all of us know right now, it's a tough time when it comes to tax season and that area. And the mechanism that could be used was called a defeasance. So the money could basically pay down debt at the end of the bond, which won't have been till 2039 or 2040-ish where that relief came. So after some very good conversations, it came down to the board took action at the last board meeting that we were going to use projects within our capital improvement plan for that remaining $1 million, and at this time kind of put on hold the search for land.
Okay. So what kind of projects are in play?
Roofing projects. We have a boiler that is needed, and that boiler would be able to be transferred to different parts. The other thing, we've assessed parts of the actual referendum that didn't make the cut at times with the building upgrades as well. So we're going to work through and assess those and kind of rank and prioritize where we are there as well. But really, in a capital improvement plan, those big hitters are always those roofing sections, which we have two different ones that I would anticipate us doing. Additionally, by Columbus Elementary School, there's some sidewalk work that would make it safer and definitely cleaner that we're looking into as well.
Certainly, and I think it's probably important for people to understand this money has to be used in a way that you went to the voters and asked for it back in 2000. You just can't take money. We can't ask people, can we have money for buildings? Sure, here it is, and then use it for something else. You have to spend this money within those confines.
Absolutely, within the scope and the intent of the original question. Land acquisition was written into the question. Upgrades to infrastructure was written into the question. And then like capital improvement upgrades, I believe is how it was worded, was written into the question as well.
Certainly. So this referendum passed in 2020. We're talking about $1 million here. Has that been drawing interest this whole time?
Yeah, it can draw interest, but there does become a point where working with our experts that we can no longer collect interest on it as well, or have to pay back the interest that is collected. Obviously, when you can't take out a referendum and just continue to make money on it without penalty. The point of the referendum is to take the money in and spend it and use it.
In the way that you told the voters that you would.
Exactly.
That's key.
If not, I think everyone would just take out money and collect the interest on it. So I think that's a great point, really, where we have to do some heavy considerations. And if you think back to, I think 3 or 4 shows ago, we talked about our legacy priorities. We still have an aging Columbus Middle School that had minor upgrades intentionally during that referendum process. We have to create now a plan. What are we going to do with that building? Because there's costly upgrades there and just what makes sense. And that's going to be coming now in the next 2 to 3 years, really having a timeline and a plan of exactly what is meant for the future of that Columbus Middle School building.
Could the $1 million be spent on the middle school?
It could be spent on the middle school. With that said, it would be far from covering everything that needs to be done in that Columbus Middle School.
Okay, very good. So you said that the land option not going to happen. Decisions had to be made with that $1 million. So like you say, we're at the end. The school board has made a decision how you want to proceed.
Yeah, the school board has been excellent, and we've been having open dialogue on where we've been at. The other thing I think is key to mention, the different landowners that I have talked with all have been awesome. They have been fair, they have been knowledgeable, they have been enjoyable. The lack of a land purchase wasn't because of any landowner, being unfair or anything like that. In Columbus, we have some obstacles at times to building, especially a site as big of what would be a school. We have wetlands and floodplains that we have to work around that we can't just build through. There's certain power line issues that we have, and even some of the hot land, so to speak, is a little outside of the city limits or outside of where infrastructure, think about sewer and water, currently runs. So we definitely did a deep analysis, but the landowners, I learned a lot about Columbus in my first 3-4 years from the landowners, just sitting and talking, driving around with some of them that have been from Columbus and are Columbus proud.
Absolutely. I was curious to know, too, speaking of the topic of referendums, I was curious on some of your thoughts about the larger issue of what's going on in education in Wisconsin right now, where we see a lot of school districts in tough shape. Luckily, Columbus is not one of them. But, you have to look around at all your neighbors and, have some serious thoughts and conversations about how to prepare for the future in a state that is getting older, and not as many young people are coming up the pipeline, so to speak.
Yeah, it's tough right now. It's tough to make ends meet, and costs continue to go up, especially when you think about heating a building, fuel costs, things like that. Just like we feel at home, none of that is slowing down. Declining enrollment is a real thing, and I think most districts are experiencing it. I'm proud that we are positive open enrollment barely positive, but we are positive. So we continue to want to be able to draw, because we do think that we provide some unique experiences and a great experience with our staff and for our students as well. But on the larger scale, it's not getting easier to make ends meet each and every year. And as many of you probably know, in the Columbus School District, we currently are operating under an operational referendum. And I think it's important, going back kind of to the land part, the operational referendum and that 2020 capital referendum, to your point, are completely different.
That's important to know.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because that can be confusing as well. Those are two complete different issues, and they can't be intermingled as well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Open enrollment. Do you find that this makes school districts more competitive with their neighbors, and is that necessarily a good thing?
I don't know if it's necessarily more competitive. I think, going back, the previous 3 districts I've been in has all been part of a capital referendum project at some point. And I think 10, 15 years ago, the thought was, if you build it, they will come. And I think what I've learned anyways, and I don't have data to support this, that's not necessarily the case. Obviously, if you provide a great experience or a unique programming, some kids will come in. But really, when it comes down to open enrollment out, what I'm seeing is it's often, where do the parents work? It's also often, do they live near the border or the boundary of the school district where it's easier? The third thing is that often comes up is, who are they friends with or play youth sports with? And that, right or
So
wrong,
a lot of factors
yeah.
have nothing to do with the quality of the product that you're putting out.
Correct. And every year we survey both our students that come in and our students that leave the Columbus School District to try and collect data. And if there's action that we can take, we're never going to go out and do a hit piece on neighboring school districts, because in the end we do support each other and work with each other. We're all trying to educate the students in the community in the state of Wisconsin, let's face it. But with that also, also though, we do want to be sure that students are aware of the different programming options that we do have that they might not be able to get somewhere else.
Very good. We're talking with Columbus School Superintendent Jake Flood on this edition of Community Comment. We need to take one last break, but we'll be right back. You're listening to WBEV 95.3.
WBTV Studios, here's Terry Bell.
Thank you very much, Jake, and welcome back to Community Comment. We're talking with Jake Flood. We have two Jakes on Community Comment today. He's the Columbus School Superintendent, and you still have time to ask him a question or offer a comment if you'd like. Our number is 920-887-9595 or 885-4446. Before we go, Jake, there's a lot of exciting things happening still this spring, even though the school year is winding down.
I can't believe we're talking about the end of the year,
Aren't we?
normal activities. You know, you look at the calendar, I'm like, what? It's coming. Elementary school actually quiets down a little bit this time of the year. Well, shall I say it? Maybe not quiets down, but
Maybe quiet isn't the right word. I used to volunteer in an elementary school, and I noticed as soon as the weather gets nice, you've lost them.
less events. Let's change it to that. They have their field trips happening and on-site learnings. They go to Washington Park, and every year the kids just come back loving that.
Oh, that's excellent.
We love it. It's cool. Middle school. Once again, I'm a former middle school teacher. I'm never going to say middle school and quiet. But the 8th graders have their middle school promotion coming up on June 3rd here, a chance to celebrate them, and they move on to the high school. They actually also get a chance on May 20th to go up and tour the high school before school is out.
Good idea.
Yeah, that transition piece, and we've identified that in many transition grades. You know, you talk your 5th to 6th and your 8th to 9th. They can be tough. So providing that support is big as well. And then high school, if it's quote unquote quiet in the other areas, it gets loud. And they kind of have the big things coming up. May 13th, as I mentioned, is that scholarship night, which is open to the public. They do their senior walk, which is a really cool event. It's become, I think, popular now across most school districts. They get a chance to walk through their old hallways, see their old teachers. There's usually never a dry eye.
I imagine.
You should see the hugs. Like, it's just, it's one of those days that reminds you of what you do and the impact that you have as a teacher, especially seeing those elementary and middle school teachers. It's awesome. And then graduation is actually May 31st. We send the kids off and we celebrate them, and then we have the next week for a couple of days the other 3 grades. So we're in the middle of AP testing right now, which tells me it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
So we're looking to finish strong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By all means. Any other kinds of special music presentations or athletics happening this time of year?
Yeah. The concerts have been going on, kind of wrapped up now. We had a high school concert this past week. Archery nationals are a shout out to our archery program, who continues to compete at a very high level. And you're right, that spring sports season is kind of coming to not a conclusion, but it's
to a
getting close.
head,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
tournament time is right around the corner. I think only a couple of weeks. Talking baseball and softball, soccer runs one longer week, but track wraps up or gets into the tournament series soon as well. So, golf, the same thing. Everybody is up to something. Another kind of a shout out to our golf program. A couple of weeks ago, they had won their first conference meet for the first time in 7 years.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I mean, we have great kids in that program, hard workers. Our coaches have been doing an excellent job, and never necessarily won a meet, but doing the right thing and got over the hump and came home with a win about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I saw one of the coaches in the hallway the day after, and they were just thrilled. So proud to see that success as well.
That means a lot. It sure does. Well, Jake Flood, it has been an hour well spent. The time flew right by.
Well, thanks for having me on. I look forward to it in the future.
Of course. And we want to thank you for joining us on Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.